Nebraska defensive back recruiting has been on absolute fire over the past couple weeks. The Huskers are now in the mix for some brand new high 4-star prospects. So in today's video, I'm going to go over the top DBs that Nebraska are going after in the 2026 class, who these guys are, what they bring to the table, their interest in Nebraska, and everything else you need to know, along with an update around Nebraska's current DB commit. Will he flip away? And then an honest conversation about how Addison Williams is actually doing as Nebraska's DB coach, and so much more. So really quick, this is a jam-packed recruiting video. Hit that like button if you're fired up. And also, hey, if you support what I'm doing here, daily Husker football content, recruiting updates just like this, spring practice updates you're going to get nowhere else, and so much more. It really helps me out. Please hit that subscribe button. Once again, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. Join this family. But without further ado, let's get into it, going over this massive Nebraska recruiting update, talking specifically about the defensive backs because the Huskers are going after some big-time prospects. Addison Williams, we'll get into this as the video progresses, but he's doing a really good job, to say the least. I want to get things started talking about a guy who's not a new name, however, who I've received a million questions about over the past couple weeks. This is Nebraska's lone DB commit in the 2026 class. New top 100 4-star CJ Brana. And the big question that I've been receiving has been, will he flip away from the Big Red? Because he's been blown up. He's been getting every single offer you can imagine. LSU, Oregon, Texas A&M, some big-time schools have been getting involved. He's getting a new offer every single day. And he's visiting other programs. He recently visited Florida State. He was at North Carolina the other day, visiting with Bill Belichick and so much more. So he's not only receiving other offers, but he's visiting other schools. So the question is he going to flip? Is he going to decommit? The answer I would tell Nebraska fans is no. CJ Brana, I fully expect will stay with Nebraska, and I expect him to sign. Now, I could be wrong here, right? It's not 100%. Don't take my word 100%. But CJ Brana still really likes Nebraska, and we're still by far the number one on his list. His family likes the Huskers. He still has a great relationship with John Butler, specifically. He has a great relationship with Matt Rhule, and Addison Williams is also building the relationship. The question around CJ Brana, though, is how hard are these other schools pushing for him? Like Oregon, I'm a little bit worried about because they have so much money. And again, CJ Brana, the reason he's blowing up is because he's one of the fastest recruits in America. He runs a legit 4.3 40 time, which is blazing fast. Okay. He's one of the most athletically gifted players to ever commit to Nebraska ever. Seriously. Okay, so that's why he's blowing up. So I'm worried about the money factor, but I fully expect him to stay with Nebraska. I'm not worried about him visiting other schools. He's doing his due diligence. He's a smart kid. Okay, he would be dumb to not visit other schools and check them out, especially when he's blown up. But he's going to stay with the Huskers. I feel confident about it. Nebraska, he's going to probably lock down with the Huskers after the summer when he takes all these OVs. But CJ Brana, I expect him to stay with Nebraska, but he's super athletically gifted. You got to lock him down because he's a guy who is a game changer at that corner spot. So that is somebody who I want to get just right off the bat. Talk about CJ Brana. Expect him to stay with the Huskers. Feel good about where we stand there. Let's talk about the top prospects because there are a bunch of new names here with Addison Williams, some big-time prospects. Let's get things started with the guy they're actively trying to flip. Jontavius Wyman announced that he will be visiting Nebraska this summer, current Georgia commit. He's been rising through the recruiting rankings, I believe, on On3 now. He's a top 6 DB in his class. So according to 24/7 Sports Composite, he's the number 166 player in his class, number 17 corner. Super dynamic, good speed, great ball skills. He can go up and get receptions. He can get interceptions as well because he plays wide receiver. You like him at corner, you like him at safety, so he has that positional flexibility. But Jontavius Wyman, just incredibly good corner who every school in the country pretty much is trying to flip. But you got Georgia, you got Miami, you got Nebraska, I think USC also in the mix there. So those are the 4 schools, but like where the Huskers stand here, building out a relationship with Addison Williams. But another dynamic prospect who, again, you want to lock down the secondary, you get a guy like Jontavius Wyman. Definitely not a full Georgia commit here. He might flip to the Huskers, but he will be visiting in June. So that's somebody they really want. New name here, Cameron Hamel. We talked about him in a video earlier this week. He has visited Nebraska over the past couple of days. He's here pretty much as we speak. I think he's here right now. This is a 4-star corner coming out of Goodyear, Arizona. Again, another guy who can play all over the secondary. You like him at corner. You like him at slot. He's a longer built corner. He's about 6'1". He's very physical. He's a good tackler, good ball skills. He's feisty. Like, he's going to fight for that ball. He's going to try to get it out, rip it out at the last second, kind of like a Marshawn Lattimore. Really like his game. I think he's more of a safety, honestly, but I could see him play corner. But Nebraska really been trying to get him. I'd say right now, Huskers might be the favorite here, but you got some good schools. Oregon's in here, Texas A&M's in there, Arizona State's in there, Penn State's in there, so would watch out for those schools. But Nebraska, he is currently visiting right now. You got Dominic Turnbull, who I expect to commit to Nebraska very soon. He said that he wants to wrap up his recruitment, whether that's in April, whether that's in May. He said he wants to do it very quickly. Dominic Turnbull, Nebraska's the favorite here. Miami is probably the runner-up. He's coming out of that Miami area, but Addison Williams wants him. I want him. He's a very long corner. Once again, he's 6'2", 180. He's pretty speedy for that corner spot. You can put him in the slot as well. Great ball skills, physical once again. Like Dominic Turnbull, he will commit to Nebraska. I'll put in my crystal ball right now on the WilsonDittman Sports Channel. He's going to commit to Nebraska, like where we stand. You got Blake Stewart. Nebraska visited him in, I believe, early February at an at-home visit. He comes out of Atlanta, Georgia. He is a safety through and through. Listed at 6 foot tall, 170. Very, very physical safety. Kind of a hard hitter, but also good ball skills and good in zone coverage. I like Blake Stewart a lot. I could see him be a rover. For Nebraska. Don't know where the Huskers stand here. There's pretty much 3 schools who he's already locked down visits to: Clemson, SMU, Miami. But again, Nebraska had an at-home visit with Addison Williams and John Butler with him, so I would not be shocked if he announces in the next couple of days that he's going to be visiting Nebraska, whether it's on an unofficial visit or a official visit this summer. So watch out for Blake Stewart, arguably their number 1 safety prospect in this class. Speaking of safeties, Keenan Harris is somebody who I have my eyes out for. This is a 4-star out of St. Louis, 6'1", 210 pounds. Now, Nebraska was the odds-on favorite to get Keenan Harris for a very, very long time with Evan Cooper as our DB coach. Now, we've had a lot of turnover. Evan Cooper's no longer our DB coach. John Butler's no longer our DB coach. Addison Williams now is. So I don't even know if Addison Williams is still recruiting Keenan Harris. I feel like he should. I really liked his game. I like him more at linebacker, but he's super athletically gifted. So will be interesting if Nebraska's still going after Keenan Harris, but we did want him not too long ago, so would want to mention him in this video. But you got Missouri, you got Oklahoma as well here. So still have my eyes out for it, but I think Nebraska's probably trailed off in this process. I don't think they really want him anymore, unfortunately. But I like Keenan Harris' game. 2 others I want to talk about before I get into my last guy and then talking about Addison Williams, how he's been performing. Danny Odom is really, really interesting out of First Academy, Orlando, Florida, 6'1", 170. Another very physical, scrappy corner. I mean, just trying to pick at that ball at all times. He might give up a catch, but he's going to continue to try to get that ball and try to get it out for a forced fumble last second. That's what I like about Danny Odom's game. Again, pretty lanky, not incredibly fast, not incredibly quick, but I like him at safety potentially as a free safety. But again, just very, very physical, good tackler. You kind of see the common theme with what Addison Williams is going for. He's visiting Nebraska June 20th, which is the Huskers' premier weekend, but also Penn State, Vanderbilt, Miami in the mix there. Another guy out of Orlando, Florida, Devin Jackson, his teammate. He plays safety, 6'2", 195. He'll be visiting Nebraska once again this summer. He's a Florida commit, but he'll be visiting Nebraska and Florida, so pretty much down to those 2 schools. But like his game a lot. He can play linebacker too, but another guy the Huskers have been trying to flip over the past couple weeks and months. One last guy I want to talk about, who Nebraska's not offered yet, but I'm going to continue to pound the table. They need to offer him. This is Deion Jones. Borderline 4-star out of Omaha North. Brother of Donovan Jones, who's currently with the Huskers. Offer this guy. Offer Deion Jones, man. He's a stud. He's a complete stud. He's a guy who can play safety. He can play corner. He's a better recruit than what Donovan Jones was. He led the state of Nebraska in interceptions. He can play wide receiver too. He's just so versatile. He's a good kid, man. Offer this guy because we need this guy in Nebraska uniform. He's one of those prospects that is not going to end up getting a Nebraska offer. He might go to Iowa State. He might go to somewhere else, and he's going to shine. And then we're going to say a couple years later, why did we not offer him? I don't know. Offer him now because Deion Jones is really, really good. He's my guy. Offer this guy because we do not want to see one of our talented Omaha kids go somewhere else. So those are the top Nebraska DB targets in the 2026 class. Let's talk about Addison Williams really, really quick here, how he's been doing. I've been really impressed with Addison Williams. I'm not going to lie to you. I think he's arguably already established himself as the best recruiter on this staff for Nebraska, not named Deion Shorts. And he's been getting to work, especially in the Southeast, Florida, Georgia. He likes the Arizona pipeline a little bit. He has some connections there. Those are kind of the three primary states he's been really, really locking down. So, man, I love Addison Williams, what he's been doing. He's bringing back that Nebraska connection. I expect Nebraska might get 7 or 8 Florida commits this class. Thanks to him, thanks to Phil Simpson, Deion Shorts. We're going back to that Florida area and trying to get some studs. But he's been really building some good connections. Again, he likes these lengthier corners who are physical, of good speed, of good upside, with these possessional flexibility. Really, really like what we're doing here recruiting. But the big question is, can he develop? Because we got a big spring ball going on right now. And a lot of unproven guys really need to take that next step. So I'm going to be watching that aspect of his game. I know he's a good recruiter. Not sure about his developmental side, so we will see that. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts down below about Nebraska DB recruiting. Who do you want the most? I want to hear what you have to say. Hey, if you made this far in the video, you know what to do. Hit that like button and subscribe. As always, folks, go on, Rhule. See you in the next one.